Have you ever noticed something strange about money after the age of 50? It's not that people suddenly earn less. It's not that opportunities disappear overnight.
And it's certainly not because the world becomes unfair the moment you celebrate your 50th birthday. Yet something changes.
For millions of people, the years that were supposed to bring peace of mind become years filled with quiet financial anxiety. You stop worrying about getting rich. You start worrying about whether your savings will last.
You begin asking questions you never thought about when you were younger. What if I lose my job?
What if my health changes? What if my retirement isn't enough? What if I become a burden on my children? Those questions don't appear because you're weak. They appear because, for the first time in your life, time becomes more valuable than money.
And here's something that may surprise you. Financial freedom after 50 doesn't begin when you have $1 million.
It doesn't begin when you finally pay off your mortgage. And it doesn't begin when you retire. For most people, it begins the moment they reach one simple milestone: $50,000. Not because $50,000 makes you rich. It doesn't. But because reaching that number changes the way your brain makes financial decisions forever. Today we're going to explore why this number matters so much. Why psychologists believe financial security begins long before wealth.
Why thousands of financially successful people crossed this exact psychological turning point.
And why waiting until retirement to think about money might be the biggest financial mistake of your life. If you're over 50 or getting close, you'll want to stay until the end, because one idea in this video could completely change how you think about your future. My name is Nick. I spend an unhealthy amount of time studying personal finance, behavioral psychology, retirement planning, and the small decisions that quietly separate people who enjoy retirement from those who spend it worrying about everything.
Because here's what I've learned. Money isn't only numbers. Money is emotional. Money affects how you sleep,
how you think, how confident you feel, even how you treat the people around you. Most financial advice focuses on investments, budgets, or interest rates. Those things matter.
But very few people talk about the psychology behind wealth. And without understanding that psychology, even a high income can disappear surprisingly fast. Let's begin with a simple question. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You pour yourself a cup of coffee. You open your banking app. You see exactly $50,000 sitting safely in your savings and investment accounts. Nothing else has changed. You still live in the same house. You still drive the same car. You still have the same job.
The only difference is that number. Would your day feel different? Most people immediately answer yes. But why? After all, $50,000 isn't enough to retire. It isn't enough to buy a luxury home. It won't suddenly make you wealthy. So why does that number feel so powerful? Because your brain doesn't measure money the same way calculators do. Your brain measures safety. For decades, neuroscientists have studied how financial uncertainty affects human behavior. The results are remarkably consistent. When people constantly worry about money, the brain shifts into what psychologists often describe as a threat-focused state. Your attention narrows, long-term planning becomes harder. Every unexpected bill feels bigger than it really is. Instead of asking, "How can I improve my future?" your brain keeps asking, "How do I avoid the next disaster?" Think about your own life. Maybe you've experienced this before. Your washing machine breaks. Your first thought isn't how to replace it. Where am I going to find the money? Your car needs repairs. Instead of sleeping peacefully, you spend hours calculating different scenarios in your head. What can you postpone? What can you cancel? Which bill can wait another week? Living this way is exhausting. Not because you're irresponsible,
because uncertainty consumes mental energy.
Researchers have found that chronic financial stress can reduce decision-making quality in ways that resemble severe sleep deprivation. In other words, constantly worrying about money doesn't just feel bad,
It actually makes it harder to make good financial decisions. And that's where everything begins to change. Not at $1 million, not at 500,000, but much earlier than most people realize. Because once your savings become large enough to absorb life's ordinary surprises, something remarkable happens. Your brain finally has permission to think beyond survival. Instead of reacting, you begin planning. Instead of fearing every expense, you begin evaluating opportunities. Instead of asking,
What if something goes wrong? You begin asking, what if things actually go right? That shift may sound small. In reality, it changes everything. Because every major financial success starts with a change in behavior. And every lasting change in behavior begins with a change in how you think. That's why reaching $50,000 is less about the money itself and more about the person you become while building it. In the next part, we'll look at the surprising research behind financial confidence after 50, why emergency savings change your brain, and how people who consistently build wealth begin thinking completely differently from everyone else. The hidden psychological shift that most people never notice. Here's something fascinating. If you asked 100 people over the age of 50 what financial freedom looks like, you'd probably hear 100 different answers. Some would say $1 million.
$1 million.
Others would say owning a home with no mortgage.
I just wanted my house to be completely paid off. What does financial freedom mean to you?
I just don't want to worry anymore.
Notice something? Almost nobody talks about the feeling.
They only talk about the number. I think you need $1 million. $500,000 is enough. But behavioral economists have discovered something incredibly important.
People don't experience money objectively. They experience security. Imagine two people. The first has $400,000 invested but owes enormous debts, spends every dollar that comes in, and constantly worries about keeping up with an expensive lifestyle. The second has only $50,000 saved, very little debt, and lives comfortably below their means. Who sleeps better? For many people, it's the second person. Because wealth isn't simply about assets. It's about confidence. And confidence comes from knowing that one unexpected event won't destroy your future. Think back to your 40s. Most people at that age are juggling almost everything at once. Mortgage payments, children, college expenses, career pressure, aging parents, medical bills, unexpected repairs. Every paycheck already has a destination before it even arrives. Now something interesting happens after 50. Some of those responsibilities slowly disappear. Children become independent. Mortgages become smaller. Income often reaches its highest point. Logically, saving money should become easier. But for millions of people, it doesn't. Why? Lifestyle inflation. Instead of increasing savings, many people increase spending. A newer SUV, a larger house, luxury vacations, more expensive hobbies, a second property. At first, none of those decisions feel dangerous.
Each purchase seems reasonable. I've worked hard. I deserve this. I'll enjoy life while I still can.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying your success. The problem appears when higher spending quietly replaces higher saving. Your income grows, but your financial freedom doesn't.
This is why two neighbors earning exactly the same salary can retire in completely different situations.
One retires with confidence, the other keeps working because they simply can't afford to stop.
How was work?
It was okay, not because they earned less, because they made different decisions for 20 years. Researchers studying retirement behavior have repeatedly found that people who consistently save automatically
before spending anything else accumulate dramatically more wealth than those who save only what's left at the end of the month.
I don't know where all my money goes.
It goes wherever your lifestyle grows.
Our brains are remarkably good at adapting to higher spending. Give someone an extra $1,000 every month.
Congratulations, you've earned another raise.
It often feels normal,
Not extraordinary. That's called lifestyle adaptation, unfortunately. Do you remember how excited we were when we bought the SUV?
I do.
Expenses adapt faster than happiness.
Now let's talk about why $50,000 changes this pattern. I'm afraid it needs to be replaced. Let's get it replaced.
Replacing it costs $3,000. When can you start? Tomorrow morning. 10 years ago, that unexpected bill may have caused panic. I don't know how we're going to pay for this. You might have reached for a credit card, borrowed money, delayed the repair, lost sleep for days. Now imagine facing the exact same problem with $50,000 already saved. Is the repair annoying? Absolutely. Is it financially devastating?
Not even close.
Yes. It's done. The event itself hasn't changed.
Everything taken care of?
Only your financial foundation has. That's an enormous psychological difference. Because once ordinary emergencies stop feeling like disasters,
Your mind finally has space for something far more valuable. Long-term thinking. When will it be this big?
financially successful people rarely make perfect decisions. They simply have enough breathing room to recover from imperfect ones. That breathing room creates confidence. Confidence creates patience. Patience leads to better investing. This is exactly why so many people say, building the first meaningful savings feels harder than everything that comes after it. You're not only building an account, you're building a completely different relationship with money. One based on choice instead of fear. One based on planning instead of reacting. And that's the point where many people over 50 realize something.
Dad, if you could give me one financial lesson, what would it be?
They wish they had understood decades earlier. Financial freedom doesn't suddenly arrive on the day you retire. It starts years before retirement. The moment your money begins protecting you, instead of you constantly protecting your money. In the next section, we'll explore the simple mathematics behind this transformation and why $50,000 can become the foundation for hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 15 to 20 years, even if you never earn another spectacular salary.
Both earned similar salaries throughout their careers. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. From the outside, their lives look almost identical.
But one simple difference completely changes their future. Ready to go?
Coming.
The first person has managed to build a financial cushion of about $50,000.
The second has almost nothing saved. Who is actually wealthier?
The first one.
Definitely the first. Most people immediately choose the first person because of the money.
But that's not the real answer. The first person owns something far more valuable than cash. They own time. I'm glad I didn't miss this. And after the age of 50, time becomes the most valuable financial asset you'll ever possess. When you're 25, you can recover from almost any financial mistake. Lose a job? You have decades to rebuild.
Start investing late?
I wish I had started earlier.
It's good that you're starting now. Compound interest still has years to work. Take a career risk?
There's enough time to change direction. But after 50, the equation changes.
Every financial decision carries more weight because there are fewer working years ahead.
That's why building financial security before retirement isn't about becoming rich. It's about buying yourself options. Let's say your company suddenly announces layoffs. Due to current business conditions, we will be reducing our workforce over the coming weeks. Their mind immediately jumps to worst-case scenarios. How will I pay the mortgage? What happens to my health insurance? What if I can't find another job? Stress takes over. And stress often leads to poor decisions. People accept lower salaries. They stay in toxic workplaces. They stop negotiating. They become afraid to take any risk. Now imagine someone with $50,000 already saved. Do they want to lose their job? Of course not. But panic doesn't control them anymore. Instead of making desperate decisions, they can make intelligent ones. Maybe they spend 2 months searching for the right opportunity. Maybe they learn a new skill.
Maybe they finally start the small consulting business.
You've been talking about this for years.
I know. They've been thinking about for years.
The money didn't create the opportunity. The money created the freedom to recognize it.
This is one of the biggest differences between financially secure people and everyone else. They don't necessarily earn more.
They simply have more choices. Choice is one of the most underrated forms of wealth. The ability to say no, the ability to wait, the ability to negotiate, the ability to leave. Those freedoms are almost impossible without savings. Now let's talk about something that surprises many people. After 50, your greatest financial investment may no longer be the stock market.
It may be your own health. Think about this for a moment. Imagine two 60-year-olds.
One has money saved and exercises regularly. The other has almost no savings and ignores their health because they're always working overtime.
10 years later, the difference isn't measured by luxury. It's measured by freedom. Who has the better retirement?
Medical research consistently shows that maintaining good physical health, everything looks good, keep staying active, reduces many of the costs associated with aging.
Fewer hospital visits, lower medical expenses, greater independence, more energy.
The financial return isn't always visible immediately, but over 20 years, it can be enormous. That's why financially successful people often invest in things that don't immediately look like investments. Healthy food, preventive medical care. Keep up your healthy routine. Those choices don't simply improve life. They often protect wealth.
Because nothing destroys retirement savings faster than preventable health problems. Here's another lesson that many people learn too late.
Money grows best when you leave it alone. Will it be big next week? No. Trees take time. But every few months, you dig it up just to check if the roots are growing. It sounds ridiculous.
Yet millions of investors do exactly that with their portfolios. Markets fall, they panic. Markets recover, they buy back in. Markets fall again, they panic again. History has shown something remarkably consistent. The investors who stay disciplined through difficult years often outperform those who constantly chase the latest trend.
That's not because they're smarter. It's because patience is one of the highest-paying financial skills in the world.
And patience becomes much easier once you have a financial cushion. Because you're no longer investing out of desperation,
you're investing from stability. Let's look at a simple example. Suppose you invest $50,000 into a diversified portfolio.
Assume an average annual return of around 8%. Of course, markets don't rise every year. Some years will be negative, some years much better.
But over long periods, broad stock market returns have historically averaged around that range. Without adding another dollar.
The important part isn't 1 year, it's many years.
So you didn't keep adding money?
For this example, no.
Now imagine continuing to invest every month while allowing those returns to compound. Suddenly, the money you've already saved begins working alongside the money you're still earning. That's the moment many investors notice something incredible. Their portfolio starts contributing more to their wealth than their monthly deposits.
At first, you build your money. One day, this little tree will look just like that one. Your money begins helping build itself. But once it begins, everything feels different. You stop obsessing over every market headline. Grandpa, how often do you check your investments now?
Not nearly as often as I check on my family.
You stop checking your account 5 times a day? And that mindset is exactly what separates long-term investors from lifelong savers. This little one protects tomorrow.
So one tree is for later?
They both are. One protects today, the other keeps growing for tomorrow. After 50. I don't understand. We saved for decades. It usually happens one neglected season at a time. The biggest financial mistakes people over 50 make without realizing it. There's a question that almost nobody asks after the age of 50. And yet, the answer to this single question can determine whether retirement feels peaceful or stressful. The question isn't,
how much money do I have? It's, what habits are quietly stealing my future?
Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't become financially insecure because of one catastrophic mistake. They become financially insecure because of hundreds of small decisions that seem harmless at the time. One expensive purchase, one unnecessary loan, one delayed investment, 1 year of saying, "I'll start saving next year." Then another year passes. Then another. Eventually, 5 years disappear. then 10. And suddenly retirement is no longer a distant event. It's right in front of you.
Let's begin with the first mistake. Mistake number 1. Believing that a higher income automatically creates wealth. Think about two friends. Both earn $120,000 a year. The first saves 20% of every paycheck.
The second upgrades everything every time they receive a raise. A larger house, a newer SUV,
Luxury vacations.
designer furniture.
The first person looks ordinary. The second looks successful.
Fast forward 15 years. One has financial freedom, the other has monthly payments. The difference wasn't income,
It was behavior. Money magnifies habits. Good habits create wealth. Bad habits create expensive lifestyles. And lifestyles can become financial prisons. Now here's the second mistake. Mistake number 2. Trying to look wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. This may be one of the biggest financial traps in modern society. We're constantly surrounded by images of success. Luxury cars, perfect homes, luxury watches, 5-star vacations. Social media makes it look like everyone is living an extraordinary life. But appearances can be incredibly misleading. Many people driving expensive cars are making enormous monthly payments. Many people living in beautiful homes feel trapped by mortgages they can barely afford. Many people wearing luxury brands have almost nothing invested for retirement. Real wealth is often invisible. It's the emergency fund nobody sees. It's the investment portfolio nobody posts online. It's the ability to sleep peacefully because money isn't controlling your life anymore. And that kind of wealth rarely attracts attention. But it creates something much more valuable: freedom.
Now let's talk about a mistake that's especially dangerous after 50. Mistake number 3, taking unnecessary investment risks because you feel behind.
This happens more often than most people realize. Someone reaches 55. They look at their retirement account. It's smaller than they expected. Instead of making a thoughtful long-term plan, they panic. They begin searching for shortcuts, high-risk stocks, cryptocurrencies they don't understand, speculative investments, promises of guaranteed returns. The thinking usually sounds like this: I need to catch up. Unfortunately,
Desperation often leads to poor decisions. History has repeatedly shown that chasing unrealistic returns usually ends with even greater losses.
successful investors rarely become wealthy overnight. They become wealthy by avoiding catastrophic mistakes.
Protecting your capital is often more important than chasing extraordinary returns. Now here's another lesson many retirees wish they had learned earlier. Cash feels safe, but sometimes holding too much cash quietly becomes its own risk. Inflation doesn't make dramatic headlines every day.
It works silently. Year after year, the purchasing power of money slowly declines.
The groceries that cost $100 today may cost considerably more 10 years from now. Healthcare, insurance, utilities. Almost everything becomes more expensive over time.
This is why many financial professionals recommend balancing stability with long-term growth, rather than relying entirely on savings accounts.
Because retirement isn't only about protecting money, it's about helping your money continue working for you. Now let's discuss something even your children. Many parents over 50 make enormous financial sacrifices because they love their families. That's completely understandable. Helping your children can be one of life's greatest joys. But there's an important difference between helping and sacrificing your own financial future. If supporting adult children prevents you from preparing for retirement, everyone may eventually pay the price. Financial independence allows you to help from a position of strength, not from sacrifice. Now imagine two different futures.
In the first, you reach retirement carrying debt, constantly checking your account, avoiding travel, postponing medical care, worrying every month. In the second, you aren't extraordinarily wealthy,
But you have savings, investments, a reasonable lifestyle, and confidence.
You don't panic when unexpected expenses appear. You don't fear every market headline. You don't wonder whether retirement will last. Instead, you spend your time with the people you love. You travel when you choose. You enjoy mornings without financial anxiety.
Notice something. Neither future depends entirely on income. Both futures depend on decisions made years earlier. And that's exactly why this conversation matters today. Not next year. Not after retirement. Today.
Because every month you delay, time keeps moving, compound growth keeps waiting, and opportunities quietly disappear. If you're over 50, please remember this. Don't compare yourself to someone who started investing 20 years ago. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. One better financial decision today can completely change the next 20 years of your life. Your future isn't determined by the mistakes you've already made. It's determined by the decisions you make from this moment forward. Start building your financial foundation. Protect it. Allow it to grow. Stay patient.
Stay consistent. Because financial freedom after 50 isn't reserved for the lucky. It's built by ordinary people
And years from now, when you look back at this moment, you probably won't remember the exact numbers we discussed today.
But you'll remember one simple idea. The day you stopped chasing the appearance of wealth and started building real financial freedom was the day your future truly began. If you found value in today's video, consider subscribing and joining us for future conversations about building lasting wealth, making smarter financial decisions, and creating a retirement built on confidence instead of uncertainty. Because your best financial